Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher with the boys, Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock. We are in the house tonight. We have ourselves a loaded show here tonight. Obviously, we're going to start it off with NXT 2.0, then to be followed by AEW Dynamite, and in a very special edition of the Mikey's Mindset, you're getting a 2-for-1 deal, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I will be talking about a show that I just went to on Sunday at the world famous American Legion in Riverside. It was called Fight Life, which is actually a new brand, new company that has been around for about a couple of years. And as a matter of fact, I can't reveal results because listen to this, guys. It's actually on Fight TV. Yes, you heard me. That Fight TV, the ones that normally you get to see AAA and their pay-per-view events, or if you got Impact Wrestling, you could watch Fight TV on their big shows. Well, this company had two shows, two tapings, and it went down, I believe, and it's going to be airing this weekend. So for all you people, go out of your way, get it on Fight TV. It's $5 a month, and I encourage Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock to do it because some guys are relatively newcomers from the New England area, and there was also a couple of guys from a little company called RWA. I'm not going to give all the results. I'm not going to give results, but I do want to give a shout out to a great guy. His name is Frankie. He's basically the Imperial Grand Poobah for Fight Life. He's the one that ran the company. As always, one of my best friends, one of my colleagues. The reason why I go to these wrestling shows is only because of her, Jen Ellis. She hooked me up with this, told me about it, said, "Yo, you should come on down. Come on down to the Legion. There's a show I think you might be interested in." You know me. If you're gonna bring Good Little MF Michael Fletcher to a show, you know we're gonna be doing it big. So tonight I'm gonna hook you up on that. And there's another show that's going down on Friday night from this is actually at the Bridgeport. It's actually in East Providence. It's actually at the Bright Ridge Club. The Bright Ridge Club in East Providence, Rhode Island. NRG, they got a big show coming down this weekend. And I want to give a little big, and here's a little something for you. A former WWE superstar is actually going to be here in East Providence, Rhode Island. I'm going to give you guys that information later on tonight. So just be patient. Just hold on. I'm not gonna drop it yet. But before we get there, obviously I got to start out with the two main shows that we normally cover on Wednesday Night Madness, and we're gonna start it out with NXT 2.0. So with that said, let's get into NXT. So NXT, per the usual, was on Tuesday night on USA Network from the CWC in Orlando, Florida. And here we go. So, coming off of what happened last week, and now we're looking forward to their big event, which is called Spring Break-In. Oddly enough, I believe Spring Break-In is next week. Actually, next Tuesday night. So, with that said, we are just gonna dive right on in. Let me see if I got it. Yep, here it is. NXT. So, with that said, we started it off with a one-on-one match. Well, yeah. Oh wait, is this? Hold on, let me see. Okay, yes, it is. It is. So, what we did have here was this was a tag team title fight, triple threat, as it was Gallus, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang versus the Dyad, Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed versus the Creed, Brutus and Julius And when it was all said and done, winners of the bout, 13 minutes and 6 seconds, and still the NXT World Tag Team Champions, Gallus. Great start to the show, fun fight, great battle. I can't say anything bad. This was excellent, man. This was uh back and forth, up and down. Everything was going. It was going at it. 1306, 3.5 stars for me. Easily you can call one of the fights of the night, maybe the fight of the night. But excellent, excellent, excellent battle. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
This was a hot start to the show, and everyone delivered in a big way. The energy of the match was pure chaos, with a brawl breaking out even before the bell. The champions pulled off a deserved win as Gallus continues to make an impact at the top. NXT's tag division is deep enough for Mark and Wolfgang to remain title holders for a while without it getting boring. Creed brothers could well be on their way out of NXT, and taking the loss here could be a way to pass the torch. Julius and Brutus are ready. Ivy Nile might be able to make it work too if they want to keep the Diamond Mine rolling. A brawl between the teams began before the show, and multiple officials stayed at ringside for the match to ensure the action was contained. Reed superkicked Mark. Julius kneed Reed in the face, and he fell into a cover on Mark for a near fall. Brutus ran over Wolfgang and Fowler and then nearly pinned both men at the same time with a suplex and leg trap combination. Ava Rain distracted Julius to set up the dyad, and Ivy Nile got in her face for it. Brutus accidentally knocked Reed off the top rope and into Ivy Nile, causing the distraction for the win. So 3.5 stars. I agree with the rating. And I'll go as far as to call it the fight of the night. I thought this was a really, really good title match here. So there isn't much more to say on this. So Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock, front and center. What a way to start it off with a very good triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team Championship. The Gallus Boys retaining 13 minutes and 6 seconds. So, Mr. NXT, it's all yours.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. I'm with you guys on this one. I think this was definitely a great way to start off this edition of NXT. I mean, with a tag title match like this, I mean, my goodness. I mean, yeah, Gallus winning was definitely a no-doubter here. And, yeah, I mean, this could be the end of the Creed brothers in NXT, but we'll see what happens with it. So there's really nothing more for me to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right. Next up that we had on the show, this was actually, now if you know NXT UK, in NXT UK they had this thing called the Heritage Cup. Now the Heritage Cup was basically their version of that. If you won the title, you got to, or if you held the Heritage Cup, it was like a proving ground belt or a trophy. I think that's the best way to say it. Well, at the end of the NXT UK run, the Supernova himself, Noam Dar, had possession of the Heritage Cup. Well, he comes back and says that because of the fact, so basically he was the owner of the Heritage Cup, and they actually turned it into a title. So now we have a new belt or a new title in NXT called the Heritage Cup Championship. And the current champion is Noam Dar. He went up against Miles Bourne, and Noam Dar won the match in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. So, Anthony, we know Noam Dar really well, formerly from WWE. He was a big name in ICW in the Scotland, Ireland, down in that end. That's where I knew him. And as a matter of fact, he's a former ICW World Heavyweight Champion in his own right. Now, he had the Heritage Cup in NXT UK, brought it over to the United States. What did you think about the return of Noam Dar?
Fine squash match. Noam Dar proved his ability to quickly take out an opponent while also highlighting his own arrogance. The Scottish Supernova should not need too many matches like this, though. Miles Bourne is still a developmental star, and Noam Dar has legacy beyond NXT and can quickly challenge top guys such as Dragon Lee, Axiom, Apollo Crews, and others. And don't really have any notable highlights here, but it was a fine showcase for what it was. And you remember Noam Dar was once a part of the Monday Night Raw roster when Monday Night Raw had the cruiserweight division, and that's how I best remember him. And he's a 2-time winner of the Heritage Cup, and I'm hoping we'll see that thing utilized soon enough. But for right now, it's going to be a 1 to 1.5 for the rating on this. But solid showcase here, so there isn't much more to say about this. So, Michael Bullock, your first impression of the Scottish Supernova in NXT?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he'll turn into something real big when it comes to his run here in NXT, especially with that championship that that was once known as the Heritage Cup. So, yeah, I cannot wait to see what happens with this. So, yeah, I mean, it's a fine showcase here, but it was short. I'll give it 1 for the effort here. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, one for the effort, no doubt about it. Total agreement with everything you guys have said. So, I think it's going to be very interesting to see. So I thought it was fine for what it was worth. I thought the action was fine. Like I said, I know Noam Dar really well. Man, this guy was, he was part of the Pinky Party of ICW. He used to have now I'm gonna go a little campy comedy. Forgive me. I know that's not my stick. I'm not the campy comedy guy. I'm kind of more of the no nonsense. Florio and Bullock kind of are the ones that loves the funny ha ha. But I will say this: they used to be dudes dressed up in suits with monkey masks, throwing the pinkies up as we were having a little pinky party, as they used to say. Yes, I know. I'm towing the line on decency. I don't care. That's how ICW was. He was, that was Noam Dar. And of course, everybody remembers the good old thing with Alicia Fox. And I will say this. One time, one of the commentators absolutely had me in stitches from ICW, saying how gutted he was that she wasn't there and would trade his wife and kids for Alicia Fox. Now, Alicia is a very beautiful woman. No doubt, total sweetheart. But I almost died laughing. It had me doing the Ernie laugh and the legendary whooping laugh. Florio, you know where I'm going with that. So, anyway. Let's move on right now to the next thing on the show. Right after that, there was a few promo stuff along the way. So we're just going to totally bypass all this stuff to the next relevant match, which was Roxanne Perez going one-on-one with Zoe Stark. Roxanne Perez winning the match, 7 minutes and 57 seconds. And more importantly, guys, it leads to a big announcement at Spring Break-In. It will be Indy Hartwell putting the NXT Women's title on the line against former champion Roxanne Perez and number 1 contender Tiffany Stratton. Stratton, Hartwell, Perez, triple threat for the NXT Women's title. Michael Bullock, we were waiting to find out when Roxanne was going to implement the rematch clause. She did not hesitate. She said, Spring Break-In, I'm putting my opportunity. The biggest loser in this is now Tiffany Stratton, because she was thinking she was going to get a one-on-one. It now went to a triple threat.
Yeah, and obviously, Fletch, you know how Tiffany Stratton probably feels about it.
Oh, she is. Yo.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is piss off someone like Tiffany Stratton when she doesn't get her way. But here's the thing, girl. Roxanne Perez. She earned this rematch because remember she was in a ladder match, and so she was really hoping for at least a one-on-one opportunity. But you know what? At least now with a triple threat, both sides get what they want, and yeah, Indy Hartwell is going to be the underdog here. But the thing is, she's up for the challenge. She wants to prove to the world that win at Stand and Deliver was no joke. That it was no joke. So we'll see what happens with this. As far as this match goes, it's a 2.5-star rating for me. So it's your Spledge.
2.5, close to 3. It was a solid fight, and yeah, like you said, Roxanne Perez kind of got a raw deal. She did. She went up against Miko Satomura. She got laid out. And at that time, she literally was stripped of the belt. Then she was able to come back at Stand and Deliver to at least have a shot at the title. She lost the match in a very valiant effort. Indy Hartwell, shocking result. And a lot of people did not think that Indy was going to get the belt. And lo and behold, she walked away with the title. Yes, there was a little help from Dexter Lumis, but the thing was, Dexter never really got truly involved in the fight. He only helped Indy get up the ladder and capture the belt and won the title. But Indy did everything. She unhooked the belt. She unhooked the belt. She pulled the title down. She just couldn't get up the ladder because she was so beaten up. That's where the moment happened where, Dexter, just helped her up the ladder to get the belt. Now, I know some people were kind of like, that's a little bit of a tainted victory, don't you think? Well, if you feel that way, fine. I'm not going to fault that. Tiffany Stratton earned her right to win an opportunity at the title, and now with the big win, then they decided, you know what, we're going to go for it. We're going to try to get the belt back. I want to get the opportunity. Here it is. And now we got a triple threat. Tiffany Stratton's probably the one that's going to be really upset because she's going to be like, why is Roxanne Perez weaseling herself back into this title picture? She lost the belt. She never, she should not be involved in this at all. Because if you think about it, her odds went from 50% to now 33.33%. All of a sudden, cue the Scott Steiner math, and we all know how that plays out. So it's going to be very interesting to watch, very interesting to see, but this could be a damn good fight. I think this could be a sleeper fight of the night. We know what Roxanne Perez can do. We know what Tiffany Stratton can do when she is put into the prime position, and we know how good Indy Hartwell is. I think we got ourselves a sleeper fight of the night at Spring Break-In more than anything else. This is going to be very interesting. 2.5 to 3 for me, Anthony Florio. It is yours as Roxanne Perez won in 7:57.
3-star match for me, even with the commercial break. Without picture-in-picture, Roxanne Perez and Zoe Stark had a great match together. The chemistry, but that may change on the main roster. With the way Zoe lost this and the rushed build for Hartwell versus Perez versus Stratton, this could be the end for both women in NXT. Both are ready due to their in-ring ability in particular, but the brand will have trouble replacing them. Hartwell has done well solidifying herself as a fighting champion early, and she needs to keep stepping up in the ring to back it up. The Prodigy sent her opponent to the floor with a head scissors takedown and then went for a tope suicida. Stark caught her and planted her face first on the apron. Stark ducked Perez, then hit a combination super kick into a half-and-half suplex for the closest near fall of the bout. Booker T even sold it on commentary. And Stratton called Perez a beatable challenger. The Prodigy reminded her that he beat her the last time they fought. The Center of the Universe called that So 2022. So, solid 3 stars for me. No question about it. So, MF, let's move on to our next match.
All right, and in fact, our next match that we had on this show was Cora Jade against Gigi Dolan. Cora Jade winning the match in 3 minutes and 38 seconds, but it wasn't because of a clean finish. JC Jane got involved yet again. JC Jade is being the bane of Gigi Dolan's existence, and the one who's benefiting this is Cora Jade. And if you really think about it, Cora Jade could easily lay claim that, hey, whoever wins in this title fight, I could be the next in line, which I kind of feel like that's the road that they might be leading to or leaning towards, that whoever wins between the Roxanne versus Tiffany versus Indy, whoever wins that battle most likely might be dealing with Cora Jade as maybe the next challenger for the NXT Women's Championship. Obviously, Gigi and JC are not done with their feud at all, and I don't mind it. I kind of feel like they need more seasoning. They need more time together to be working that storyline more than anything else. So I don't mind it at all. I think the right person got over, in my personal opinion. Maybe about 1.5 to 2 is my rating for it. Even though it was a 4-minute fight, I wish it could have been a lot more longer, but it is what it is. Anthony Florio, it's yours. It's Cora Jade wins in approximately 4 minutes.
Yeah, solid 2.5-star rating for me. The actual match was barely a contest. It had only just started when JC Jane got involved. Jade and Dolan may be able to have a good fight down the line, but this was all angled. Jane continues to get in the way of Dolan's opportunities, and Jade still cannot shake the threat of Lyra Valkyria. At least one of those feuds will be settled at Spring Breakin'. Many of the matches set for next week could be farewells to key NXT talent, with the WWE draft on the horizon. This was another example, as Cora Jade could head to the main roster unless she is booked to be NXT Women's Champion soon. Dolan warned Jade that she would pay for her comments in the ring. And later, Jane decried Dolan as someone who abandoned her young brother to a bad family situation. So not too many highlights here. I'm actually going to give this around 2.25 for the effort. I mean, I could very easily go NA on this because, Jane did, well, actually, we had a decision here. So I will give it 2 stars for the effort here. I was going to give it 2.5, but the interference drives it down a notch for me. So I'm going to give it a solid 2 for the effort. So there isn't much more to say. Michael Bullock, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane, far from over.
Yeah, 2 stars for me on this one. I mean, yeah, you can definitely say for Cora Jade, I mean, I'm sure she's going to feel with whoever comes out of Spring Breakin' as the NXT Women's Champion, she's going to lay claim to being the first one to challenge, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, as far as Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, yeah, they're far from done with each other. I mean, the only question now is when will that take place? Only time will tell on that. So nothing more to say on this. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right, next up that we did have on the show, as it was a one-on-one match, as it was, hold on, let's see. Oh, it was Dijak going one-on-one with Apollo Crews. Dijak winning the match in 9 minutes and 53 seconds. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Be a man fight, anyone? Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what this was. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. This was a solid bout defined by 2 very good athletes. The main problem, however, was the predictability. Apollo Crews never really had a chance as his credibility is shot in NXT, and there's someone who could use a fresh start. Both Dijak and Crews mentioned the WWE draft and have worked on the main roster before. It seems more likely Crews will move on, but both have the potential to work any WWE roster. Hard Justice still has more story to tell in NXT, beginning with Ilya Dragunov. The two should have a memorable bout soon. Dijak knocked down a cameraman for getting in his way. Cruz got in his face, challenged him to a match. That's how this all came about. Cruz went for a standing moonsault, but Dijak caught him by the throat for a chokeslam and nearly take the win. And that's really the only real things about it. But this was be a man fight and then some. 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5. Sleeper fight of the night for me. So there isn't much more to say. Michael Bullock, big win for Dijak. He knocks off Cruz, but it looks like Ilya Dragunov is next on his radar.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this when it comes to that. I mean, if Dijak thinks he's going to have an easy time with Ilya Dragunov, he is sadly mistaken, because we know what Dragunov can bring to the table. So, yeah, 3 1/4, 3.5. I mean, this was definitely a be a man fight here, one that I certainly enjoyed here. So, yeah, like I said, Dijak and Ilya Dragunov, definitely sign me up for that one. So, to me, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. So, it's yours, Fletch.
3 1/4 stars, no doubt about it. I totally agree with you on this one. And Dijak pushing a cameraman. Gee, I wonder where that came from. Way back in the indie scene, back in Rhode Island, about a couple of years ago in Beyond Wrestling at the Fed. Yeah, man, you never changed your spots there, my friend. You're still abusing the cameraman after all these years. You lousy son of a bitch. That's all. I'm just gonna go there. I'm not. Doesn't need any references or anything else. I'm just gonna park it there.
Yeah, stay classy, Dijak. I mean, you think you would have learned your lesson from this? Obviously, you haven't. You little shit.
No, he didn't. And I'm not gonna reference who that cameraman is, because that guy doesn't even need the light of day either. So I'm not going there. I'm just gonna park it there. And by all means, I'll just leave it at that. So, all right. Anyway, next up, Wesley versus Charlie Dempsey. North American title on the line. Wesley does it again. 8 minutes and 43 seconds. He is still the North American champion. Michael Bullock. Whoo, what a good one this was.
Yeah, this to me wasn't even 3-star match. I mean, I'm telling you, man. I mean, this Wesley continues to amaze us, and he continues to turn back all these challenges from these certain people, and yeah, I mean, he's proven he is a fighting champion, and don't be surprised if we get another one of these open challenges, because he's going to continue to prove that he is that fighting champion that we all know that he is. So nothing more to say. It's your Fletch.
He has single-handedly made the North American Championship relevant in NXT. He has made that championship just like John Cena did when John Cena was the United States Heavyweight Champion. And not only that, but that's the one thing that Indy Hartwell is trying to become with the NXT Women's Champion. They're making these belts relevant. They're making it amazing, and they're giving us great battles and great fights and great everything. The open challenge concepts work when you get great champions who's willing to take it and is not afraid of challenging certain individuals and giving us great matches. Everybody thought that he was out of his mind when he did that 5-way at Stand and Deliver. But when he came out of that, still the champion, and then has repeatedly upped the ante of these title fights week after week after week after week, this is how you get noticed by me, by Michael Bullock, by Anthony Florio. And to give us talent like a Charlie Dempsey. Dempsey is no slouch. Dempsey is a very good talent and is a rising star. William Regal's son, take a bow, my friend, because you absolutely killed it last night with that championship performance. And I truly believe the better that Wesley is getting, the more credible he becomes as a champion, as a competitor, and is someone that I would love to see on the main roster very soon. He's not there yet. He still needs to stay on NXT right now. But maybe after SummerSlam, maybe next year, when if they do another draft, next year after WrestleMania, we could see him make the jump to the main roster. But right now, he is one of the most exciting champions on the NXT brand right now, period. And a quotation, Florio, go. It's a 3-star fight for me.
3 stars as well. Hard-hitting fight in the ring, though it was not as heated as some of Lee's recent title defenses. Charlie Dempsey needed to pace himself better and could use some extra help with emoting in the ring to elevate his ground game. In the end, it was just the first step, as Drew Gulak remains the priority for the moment in this tag team. And I believe he will have a great title match against Wes Lee soon enough. Gulak attacked Lee during his entrance behind the referee's back, and Dempsey found his opening to target each limb of Lee, bending him almost to the point of breaking. I would have liked to have seen a little more, but, it is what it is. Solid 3 for the effort, but boy, howdy, with a little more time, this could have been an absolute banger. But it is what it is. So not much more to say here. We have a closing segment to address when it comes to the main event for Spring Breaking next week.
Yeah, it was the Grayson Waller effect, and he did bring out Carmelo Hayes, and they basically went back and forth. So Anthony Florio, I believe this goes to you. So
it does indeed.
Yeah. So what did you think, Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller? They kind of had a little bit of a little tussle before Spring Breaking.
MF, it was simply a verbal battle. I mean, Mello and Waller did not take more than a few breaths as they tore into each other. It worked wonders. They did not need to exchange blows to sell what this match meant. It helps that there won't be any wait for the bout. Next week, either could win. It's more likely that Hayes will take it as he just got his big break. However, with the WWE draft set to start on April 28th, there could be a shock title change if the main roster wants Carmelo Hayes fast. And earlier in the show, Grayson Waller told Mackenzie Mitchell in an interview backstage that he was certain he would be NXT champion by the time Spring Breaking ends. And Waller got Trick riled up by saying he was the only reason Mello was champion, and the loudmouth taunted Hayes about joining the Hurt Business after he loses. Whoa, boy. Okay. Yeah, nice shot there. So, solid close to this show. So, there isn't much more to say. Michael Bullock, there's your NXT title match for next week. So, how'd you like that hard sell for it?
I thought it was all right. I mean, it could have been a lot better, but yeah, I mean, all I can say is to Grayson Waller, you better not get under the skin of Carmelo Hayes, because he can definitely back it up in the ring, especially now being the NXT champion. So careful what you wish for, boy. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's get into our overall thoughts.
Let me give my quick thought, and then we'll go into it. You're absolutely right, guys. But Trick Williams is the wild card here. And if for some reason they decide that this is the moment that they want to do where they want Carmelo to go to the main roster, something tells me Trick Williams might screw Carmelo out of the title. Because of the fact that, if you notice, Carmelo's being more of the baby face in this, but Trick Williams is a liability. And he's been kind of the hothead of the group. What if he costs Carmelo the title? What if he gets caught in that Grayson Waller effect and helps Grayson win the championship. It's very possible. And Anthony, you said it. The draft is coming. The draft starts on April 28th. SmackDown Live will have it. And then a couple of nights later, Monday Night Raw, May 1, May Day, is when the next round begins. Everybody's in play, everybody is out there, and this draft is run by Triple H. As many of you guys know, Triple H will have 100% creative control on everything WWE, starting with the draft.
And rightfully so.
And this is all Triple H. This is his baby to run. There will be no McDinkleberg. There is no Blubber Love. This will be Hunter's thing.
Exactly. And I want to say this quickly. I don't want to hear any BS from anybody saying, "Oh, it's all lies." McMahon is probably still behind all this. I don't want to hear it. We heard the report. Triple H is behind everything, 100% creative and the draft. So if anybody starts anything, watch out. My inner peanuts.
There'll be some people out there. There'll be some negatives. There'll be some negative Nancy's. There'll be some people that'll question it. Obviously, like we say, if we're gonna criticize, at least now we know who's truly running the thing. At least now we know who's truly gonna be running WWE. At least on creative end. So if something goes wrong, we can definitely now point the finger at Triple H. We can say, all right, Hunter, we're holding your feet to the fire. Back then, we didn't really know who it was. We didn't know if it was still McMahon running it. We still didn't know if Hunter was truly running it. Now we know who's truly running the ship. Once we get to draft night, that it's all Hunter. Hunter has the ball, so if he fumbles it, Hunter, you better watch out because we're coming after your ass. Just like we go after AEW, we know exactly who to blame for any of the stupid booking decisions or anything else. It goes right on Tony Khan's head. So now we know what's going down, that if anything screws up, it's on Hunter's head. And we will call him out for any stupidity that happens from here on in, starting with the draft. Not yet, but starting with the draft. All right. With that said, Michael Bullock, come on in. It's time for your overall review, and then we'll get into AEW.
All right. I thought it was a okay show. I mean, yeah, I had some solid matches. I mean, there were some that I thought that could have been better. I think 6 for me is the right rating for this. I mean, you had some, like I said, you had some solid matches, but there were some short matches here, so it did hurt the quality of it a little bit. So, but not too much. I'll give it 6. It's yours, Fletch.
Solid 6. Total agreement on that as well. I thought they did a good job with it. Wasn't perfect. Could have been better in certain elements, but at the end of the day, they did very good. So really nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
6.5 for me. There were some good matches, but yes, there were the usual short, pointless matches there. But some good segments here and there, and solid but not overly spectacular final sell for the spring break-in next week. Spring break-in, loaded show. Let me tell you that right now. It's going to be a loaded show. And, we'll have to wait and see how everything works out. But for right now, it's a 6.5 this time around. But I got a good feeling about next week because when they have these special shows, they usually put their best foot forward. So I'm hoping for more of that. So So not much more to say on that. So with that, MF, we move on to AEW Dynamite from the University of Pittsburgh.
Yes, we do. And we started it off with the first fight of the well, not the first fight of the evening. We had the four pillars of professional wrestling. They cut in a promo, and it led us to a tournament. So what's going to happen is basically with the four pillars, they each have to face off against one another. So this is how it's going to go. Match number one was tonight. That was Sammy Guevara. He went up against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. The winner of that fight moves on to fight Darby Allin next week. The winner of that match will fight MJF, I believe on May 6th. Anthony, is it May 6th?
What for what?
For the world title, because remember the four pillars, how it was that tournament format. So it's Sammy Guevara versus Jungle Boy. Winner fights Darby. Then the winner of that fight fights MJF for the AEW world title. I just wanted to know where
at Double or Nothing.
That's what I wanted to know. Was that May 6th? Double or Nothing?
No, May 6th. No. May 6th is Backlash.
Oh.
Double or Nothing is on Memorial, is as always on Memorial Day weekend.
Weekend. All right.
May 28th.
All right.
May 28th from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. On that very same night, that pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, will be going head-to-head with NXT's Battleground from the Songus Arena in Lowell, Mass.
Yes. So that's why I wanted it to make sure, because I wanted it to clarify on that. So that's why. All right. So with that said, it was a solid promo segment. I thought they did a really good job with everybody involved. There wasn't really much in the way of amazingness, but it was still solid for what it was worth. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. The pillars of AEW collided at the top of the show as Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara kicked off the show again as part of an in-ring promo segment. Again, hurling insults at each other that touched on real tension between them. The entire feud seemingly built around who can shoot harder on the other with the most personal of insults. Some quality zingers gave way to MJF interrupting and revealing a mini tournament involving the three potential challengers. Darby was randomly selected to enjoy a bye, while Guevara and Jungle Boy were announced for tonight's main event. It was fine, but it felt very much like a been there, done that segment with a questionable booking decision to boot. After all, if everything to this point has been centered around the four pillars, why break it up and go with one challenger? Book the four-way and let the young guys steal the show. So let's go over some highlights here, gentlemen. Darby Allin told Sammy Guevara, Sammy, of all the pillars, I've known you the longest, and oddly enough, I like you the most. Darby Allin told Jungle Boy, you were handpicked because you're part of this California clique, claiming Jungle Boy worked less hard than anyone else. Darby said, nothing about you intimidated me. You're only here because, and Jungle Boy responded, you're only here because you didn't make it as a skateboarder. And Sammy said of Perry and MJF, both of you were handpicked to be here, the Golden Boys of AEW. And Sammy told Darby, you win the TNT title, I win the TNT title, you jump off of something high, I jump off something higher. Now it's your turn to sit back and watch me become the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And then MJF with a major, major zinger. Good thing I don't care what you think, given you think Britt Baker is talented. Yowza. So, but been there, done that segment, although it was very good. It's just that I'm tired of talking. I want to see some action. So that's all there is to say on that. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the opening segment?
Yeah, I thought it was a fine segment, but I'm with you, Florio. I mean, it's a been there, done that. I mean, not to say that the segment's bad, but the thing is, we've seen this already. I mean, and I agree with you with the questionable booking. I mean, if you have these three worthy challengers, why not make it a fatal four-way instead of just a simple one-on-one? I mean, that's what I would love to see. I would have loved to see Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry against MJF. That match would definitely steal the show. But a one-on-one here, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that it won't sell. I mean, it'll be a good match, but when you have these three literally trying to make a case, why not book a fatal four-way? So that's just a little constructive criticism. So nothing more to say. It's your Sledge.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, total agreement with everything you guys have just said. So, really nothing more to add there. So, we're just gonna go right on in. First fight of the night, as it was, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in her hometown with Jamie Hayter. They went up against Ruby Soho and Tony Storm. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout in 9 minutes and 35 seconds. The AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker DMD via submission with the lockjaw. But if you notice, Anthony, after the match was over, Jamie Hayter got hurt. It looked like she got helped to the back by the trainer, so hopefully she's okay.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, big win for Dr. Britt and Jamie, but I think the major concern is the health of Jamie Hayter because it looked like she got hurt.
Yeah, I'm looking into it now. But before I share my findings, the match was action-packed and the crowd was red hot for Dr. Britt Baker, of course, because it was her hometown of Pittsburgh. There is an argument to be made that the Outcasts really should not have lost and that there was more heat to be had in them beating the Teflon Baker in her hometown, but that's splitting hairs. Hayter being taken out of the arena and missing out on the post-match celebration with Baker was conspicuous, and one can only hope she did not legitimately hurt her shoulder in the steel stairs spot. And so, like I said, I'm looking into this right now to see if there's. Well, I don't really see any updates as of yet, but so maybe everything's okay for right now. I don't know, but from what I'm seeing here is I don't really see anything here. So I think she's okay for right now. So if anything does come up, we'll definitely let you know. So but I think she's all right. So but I'll give this about 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort, like I said, and you notice Saraya taunted and then spray painted Britt Baker's mom at ringside prior to the match. Baker received a huge hometown pop for her entrance. The hometown hero exploded into the ring off a hot tag and received a thunderous ovation while doing so. Saraya blasted Baker with the women's title belt. Storm delivered Storm Zero and the babyface still kicked out. And then Britt Baker, in an ode to her boyfriend Adam Cole, delivered the Panama Sunrise to Ruby Soho for another close near fall. Hayter was sent shoulder first into the ring steps and audibly let out "ouch, ouch, ouch" before being helped from the ringside area by the medical staff. Hopefully she's okay. And that's all there is to say here. So 3 to 3.25 stars for this effort. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, gets the win in her hometown, but it may have come at a price with Jamie Hayter, the women's champion, after taking that nasty bump there. And I don't see any news about it as of yet, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Hopefully she's all right.
Yeah, we only hope that that she'll be okay. But well, yeah, I mean, well, first off, guys, memo to Saraya. I mean, you never ever spray paint the hometown girl's mom. I mean, you just got a lot of people in her hometown pissed off at you. So yeah, the boo birds really came out at you, and quite frankly, you deserve to get booed like that. So yeah, so you like to stick the middle finger up at many people? Well, I'm not going to do it here. I'm not going to get myself in trouble for this. So you get where I'm going here.
YouTube probably would get. Yeah, good move, Bullet. Good move.
Yeah.
Because I don't think YouTube would think highly of us doing that. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah,
But but you get my point.
I get your point. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So getting back to this, I mean, yeah, I know Florio said that that the Outcast going over was the better choice, but come on, it's Britt Baker's hometown. You really think they're going to have her lose in her hometown of Pittsburgh? No
Yeah.
chance in hell of that happening, huh?
No.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, they won the match, but like you said, it may have come at a price, but we all hope and pray that Jamie Hayter is okay. So there's really nothing more for me to say. What was the time of the fall, Fletch?
Time of the fall was 9:35.
All right, I'll give it about an even 3 stars for this. So it's yours now, Fletch.
Let's just move right along. Next up we had was the Elite. Then Blackpool Combat Club tried to did an attack, a sneak attack on them, only for Takeshita to show up and make the save. That's interesting. But of course, Don Callis made the move where it looked like he was going to try to get involved, and then saw it, and he's like, you know what? No, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here, and found Takeshita to basically make the save on the behalf of the Elite. So interesting, to say the very least. Yeah, really nothing more to add there. So next fight of the night that we did have was Powerhouse Hobbs versus Warlow. TNT title on the line. Winner of the bout, 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and new TNT champion. It's a three-peat for Wardlow. However, the celebration was short-lived because Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came out. Boys, it looks like we have our next challengers for the TNT title. Anthony Florio, history made in Pittsburgh, unprecedented crowning. But like we said, the celebration was very short-lived.
So short-lived, there was no tripod confetti or streamers. What's up with that? Ugh. But anyways, all right. The only person unaware that Powerhouse Hobbs is money is Tony Khan. Through his ups and downs as a booker, TK has had one consistent flaw: his seeming inability to recognize Powerhouse Hobbs' star potential, and more importantly, how to utilize him in a way that maximizes it. Tonight, his TNT Championship reign ended after 41 days as Wardlow overcame interference from the beautiful Harley Cameron and QT Marshall to capture the title as cleanly and definitively as possible. Hobbs was never really the champion and hardly benefited from the brief run. Making matters worse was the fact that after the match, he was cast aside in favor of the returning Luchasaurus. An incredible talent with the look and presence of a top star of the future, Powerhouse Hobbs has been woefully underserved by the creative forces in AEW, and if Khan and company are not careful, it'll be more and more difficult to rebuild him when the time comes to elevate him up the card. Wardlow winning the title would mean more if there was a proven track record of successful booking behind either of his first 2 runs. As far as Luchasaurus goes, reintroducing him just to beat him would seem to be the wrong call. Harley Cameron is now part of the heel group, joining QT Marshall and accompanying Hobbs to the ring. But we got a return of our own. The enforcer of the Horsemen. MF, your boy, AA, Arn Anderson. Yes. How could you not be throwing up the 4 fingers at that moment? I mean, I know I was.
I was.
Yeah, buddy. Harley Cameron distracted the referee. Marshall laid out Wardlow, but Hobbs only had a 2 count. Wardlow delivered consecutive powerbombs to secure the win and his 3rd TNT championship. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus interrupted the victory celebration, standing tall on the entrance ramp as if to announce to the world that the masked big man is next in line for a championship opportunity. And yeah, what was the time? 9.5 or something like that?
Oh boy. Yeah.
I remember
9:30. 9:30.
9.5. All right. I'll give it 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort, but I'm just a little critical of the booking, but it was a fine be a man fight for what it was, and yeah. So Wardlow, I'll pull another one out of the Gorilla Files. 3-peated, and I didn't stutter when I said that either. So, 3-peat for Wardlow. Yes, indeed, history made. You could call it an unprecedented crowning. It didn't really feel like that to me because it's been there, done that. But but we'll wait and see what happens. So 3 to 3.25 stars. Michael Bullock, history made as Wardlow, 3-peats as TNT champion here tonight.
Yeah, I'll give it about 3.25. I mean, I thought it was a good match here. I mean, yeah, Wardlow is once again the TNT champion. I mean, even though I feel like now maybe Powerhouse Hobbs is the transitional champion because it only lasted 41 days for him. I mean, I was really hoping that maybe he would get a little bit of a longer run with that title, but now Wardlow's going to deal with Luchasaurus as the next challenger. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Look, it's Pittsburgh. This is one of those where Wardlow is from that area. He knows it very well. It's kind of an IWC moment. It was a home away from home for him. Even when he first started his wrestling career, he was in the Pittsburgh area. So it kind of makes sense for him to win the belt in his own home turf. So it wasn't really. I mean, I get it, and I know you guys are not so happy because you're thinking, well, why would you do that to why would you do that to Wardlow? With everything else and the whole 9 yards. But if you really think about it, Wardlow he had a long reign with the first title and then literally lost the belt in 3 days. And we all were yelling at AEW saying, what are you doing? And now here we go again by basically saying that this is all, that they kind of screwed the pooch here as it pertains to that belt. I mean, yes, without a doubt, it was a horrible situation. There's really nothing more to add there, and yeah, so really nothing more to add, and we're just gonna move right on along. So it was a 3-star fight. There's no argument there, and the next thing that we did have was Jay White going 1-on-1 against Commander. Jay White winning the match in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give this about maybe 3.5 here. I mean, I thought this was a solid match here, but I mean, yeah, Jay White wins, but I'll tell you what, this Commander, I mean, man, I mean, he definitely gave Jay White all he can handle here. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. I mean, so Fletch, I mean, Jay White may have won the match, but what are your thoughts on Commander?
Yeah, very impressive performance on both fronts. Look, I've been very hypocritical about Jay White. I think everybody knows that very well. But you know what? He did pretty well. That was a great performance by him here tonight. It was a 3-star fight. Could have been better in certain areas. Yeah, I totally agree. But at the end of the day, they got the right man. So the right man won. You got to make Jay White relevant in AEW. This was the hot free agent that they got. WWE was supposed to get Jay White, and they never did. It fell through. So for what it's worth, there's really nothing more to add. So yeah, solid for what it's worth, and 3 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
3.25 to 3.5 stars. The jaw-dropping offense of Commander was in full display as he battled the newest acquisition of AEW, Switchblade Jay White. But it was the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion who left the greatest impression by scoring a win over his innovative masked opponent. The match was very good and really highlighted the babyface, but it was essentially secondary to everything that preceded it. The interjection of Shawn Spears into the story was an interesting, if unnecessary, development, but Ricky Starks returning to get a measure of revenge absolutely made sense. Is this leading to a tag team match in the coming weeks or at Double or Nothing? The money match would seemingly be Ricky Starks versus Jay White, but given the other developments on tonight's show, very little is as it seems, apparently. Shawn Spears shown watching the match just 5 days after popping back up on AEW television on Rampage. After White cut him off on several different occasions, Commander walked the ropes, a la Bullock's Hall of Famer, The Undertaker, and White Switchblade out on the floor. And after the match, Juice Robinson attacked Shawn Spears on the floor. Numbers game proved too much, and the heels beat down the chairman until Starks made the save. So, 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. One of the fights of the night for sure. And MF, you may not like Jay White, but I'm definitely taking a liking to him. It's not because of your hate of your disdain for him. It's because I see something in him, and if I was a heel wrestler, that's exactly who I would want to be like in this day and age. It would be Jay White, and I love the Blade Runner. That's one of my newest favorite finishing moves. I mark out every time I see it, and I'm like, yeah. So yeah. I'm telling you, I got a feeling bigger and better things are on the horizon for Mr. White. I wouldn't be surprised within the next year or so he eventually becomes the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And oh boy, if that day ever comes, you're gonna have to hold MF back. So that's all I'm gonna say. So 3 1/4, 3.5, great matchup here. And with this being Jay White's first match in AEW, did you think they were gonna have him lose? Yeah, no, absolutely not. So big win for the Switchblade. MF, let's move on.
Yeah, all right. Next up was a promo segment. Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. Boy, this exploded very fast. The JAS hit the ring. Britt Baker came out, and that led the Outcast to come out, and a very disturbing scene as basically Adam Cole got handcuffed to the ropes, and the Outcast laying out Britt Baker in her hometown with kendo sticks. Oh my God, what a disgusting display. To say the very least, Anthony Florio, wow, is all I can say. You can call this a segment of the night, but oh my, the heels got over in a humongous way.
There are several different directions this can go from here. Does AEW opt to do the straight-up Chris Jericho, Adam Cole match at Double or Nothing? Or does it incorporate Britt Baker and Saraya into it in a mixed tag team match? Either match would be worthy of the pay-per-view setting. But in my opinion, given that Britt Baker has been present from the very beginning, I think option 2 makes more sense. Regardless, this was the shot of adrenaline that the feud needed to really feel like a program befitting the star power involved. The follow-up and how Adam Cole responds will decide if the feud can build on this, because he should have a copious amount of kick-ass awaiting Jericho and his lackeys. And Jericho said of Adam Cole, I want to say that from the bottom of my heart, I have absolutely zero respect for you. He also said it's unacceptable for a talent as legendary as Chris Jericho, and you're lucky I don't slap your damn face right now. You don't impress me, Cole. And he said, you don't want to meet me, you don't want to know me, you don't want anything to do with me. Britt Baker hit the ring and slapped Chris Jericho, only for the Outcast to appear from underneath the ring and attack her. Jericho handcuffed Adam Cole, then handed the kendo stick over to Saraya, who blasted Britt Baker with it to the dismay of her hometown fans. Cole watched and pleaded with Jericho to make it stop. Fantastic segment. This was the segment of the night, no doubt about it. So, not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about it? All I can say is, like, basically, wow. I mean, this was an unbelievable segment here. I mean, I'll go as far as to call it the segment of the night here, and I'm with Florio. I'm going with option B. I mean, I say do Chris Jericho and Saraya against Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker at Double or Nothing. I mean, even though I wouldn't mind a one-on-one with Adam Cole and Chris Jericho, but all I can say is, Chris Jericho, you started something that you might not be able to finish, because look at who you're messing with. You're messing with Adam Cole, baby. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch. Chris Jericho just made this personal.
Oh yeah, yes indeed. So we'll see how that plays out. So nothing more to say. Next up, guys, is we had a 6-man tag team fight, as it was Jake Hager and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. They went up against the Acclaim and Billy Gunn, and it was the Acclaim and Billy Gunn winning the match in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So I believe this goes to Anthony Florio. So Florio, is yours.
What is this? The
6-man tag team fight.
Okay. 2.5. The match featured perfectly acceptable wrestling, and the babyfaces picked up the win, which was absolutely the right call. The question now is where one of the hottest acts in the company goes from here. Anthony Bowens and Max Caster came from out of nowhere to captivate and entertain fans, win the tag team titles last September at Grand Slam, then dropped them for no reason to the Guns. Since then, everything has felt like a stopgap. The feud with the JAS would appear to be over at this point. That's probably for the best, but with no other program queued up for the babyfaces, one has to wonder if it would behoove them to work Parker, Menard, and Hager leading into Double or Nothing. Heels attacked before the bell, getting the match off to a hot start. Parker used his comb on Bowens with babyface kicked out at 2. Billy Gunn, now apparently going by just Daddy Ass, broke said comb and set up the finish. 2.5 stars. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. I mean, to me, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, there was no way they were going to have the Acclaim join the Jericho Appreciation Society. So nothing more to say. It's your Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 2.5 stars. You guys pretty much summed it up. Leads us to the main event of the evening, as it was Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara winning the match via countout. 11 minutes and 30 seconds. He moves on. He gets to fight Darby Allin next week, where the winner will get a world title match against MJF at Double or Nothing. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it. To me, I can only give this 3 stars. I want to give it a higher rating, but the screwy finish, I think, took away from it. But yeah, you got to feel for Jungle Boy Jack Perry, because I thought he was going to go over in this one, but MJF literally screwed him over. So part of me now I think it's going to be Darby Allin that goes over and becomes the number 1 contender. So we'll see what happens with that. So like I said, 3 stars. I want to give it a higher rating, but like I said, I think the screwy finish took a little bit away from it. So it's your Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Screwy finish, like you said. Really nothing more to say. So it was pretty good. So Florio is Anthony, is yours.
3 to 3.25. When faced with the opportunity to prove himself with a victory over Jungle Boy, or take the easy way out by accepting a bribe from MJF and by proxy his help in the tournament to crown a new number 1 contender, Sammy Guevara absolutely positively took it. This was not the easy way out. You know what he did? Oh, he took the cheap way out. Ugh. An energetic, highly competitive bout between the Spanish God and Jungle Boy ended via countout? Guys, We hardly ever see count-out finishes in AEW. Am I right? I've
Hardly
never
ever.
recalled.
That's like something that's like something you see out of a WWE show run by McMagma.
We hardly ever see count-out finishes in AEW. Disqualifications are just as rare, but this match ended via this energetic, highly competitive bout between the Spanish God and Jungle Boy ended via a countout following interference from MJF. The heels celebrated to close out the show, but it was apparent from the reaction of the fans that they were not angry at the bad guys, but rather were unamused by the cheap finish. AEW has always prided itself on avoiding cop-outs like those, and to see it play out in a match that was billed as being such a high-stakes encounter hardly felt like the right time to go there. If the four-way at Double or Nothing is still the end game, and the shenanigans here suggest that will be the case, it was imperative not to book a loss for either potential challenger. So why go there? Every sign pointed to the four-way anyway. Fans were ready to see it, and the explanation for its existence made just enough sense. There was no reason to try and get too cute with a half-hearted, convoluted tournament involving 3 guys across 2 weeks, all to just have the four-way match revealed anyway. Sometimes bookers, regardless of the promotion, attempt to get ahead of the audience and in the process get too cute. That was definitely the case here. Even with the questionable booking decision, the match itself was good enough up to the finish to earn a relatively solid rating of 3 to 3.25, but this is ultimately the sort of corner a booker should hope not find themselves in. Ty Conti accompanied Guevara onto the stage, a reminder that she does still exist for those fans who do not watch AEW All Access, which we don't. Jungle Boy launched himself from the middle rope and into a destroyer, but only garnering a 2 count. Perry trapped Guevara in a weakly applied snare trap, hurting the overall drama of what should have been a big moment in the match. Guevara dropkicked Perry off the ropes, launching him several feet and into the guardrail. MJF appeared, laid out Perry at ringside with a Dynamite Diamond ring, and returned to the crowd just in time for referee Bryce Remsburg to count the babyface out. No. 2.5 stars. That's my rating for it. I'm damn sure gonna slam this. Going into this match, we were so excited for this because, given the talent involved, you're thinking, oh, this is gonna be a banger. Nope, it wasn't. Marred by a cheap finish. A cheap shot like that, give me a break. That is all I can say on that. So there isn't much more for me to say.
Man, don't hold back, Florio. Tell us how you really feel.
If you want me to go there, I'll be glad to. So, yeah.
No. I think you already said your piece.
Well played. So
yeah,
that's and also wise choice. So
yeah,
I'll just park it here. 2 to 2.5.
Yeah, the last thing I want is for you to go 97 Bret Hart. That's the last thing we want.
yeah.
And the newly heel turned John Moxley as well. You don't want that either. So with that being said, 2 to 2.5. That's the best I can give this. And I want to go higher, but with a finish like that, I mean, the match was about 3, maybe 3.25, but I'm bumping it down to 2 to 2.5 because that finish was absolute. I'll sum it up. That finish, 2 words: cheap garbage. Period. And a quotation and a statement. Bullet go.
I think I let off on that.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go right on in. Overall review. Well, this has makings of everything, guys. So basically it should have been better. Obvious disappointment. There's really nothing bad. There's nothing more to add here. This was kind of not really a great show. I mean, this is, like you said, 6.5 to 7 is my rating. Even though a lot of people are slamming this show, like they're absolutely going after AEW, calling it a mediocre show here tonight. I don't think it was that bad, but yeah. So the AEW The anti AEW marks are definitely out in full force tonight. They are slamming this show. So yeah. So nothing more to say. And Anthony, I give it to you.
6.5 to 7. It was on its way to a higher rating, but that horrific finish dampens this show here tonight. Fight of the night, I would have to say, maybe was the Jay White and Commander match. You had a solid women's tag to start it off. We had a couple of good segments here and there, but Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara, a match that should have been a banger and should have ended with a bang. Unfortunately, ended this show with one of the biggest whimpers I've seen in quite some time. So, like I said, cheap garbage, cheap shot like that. Give us a break. That's it. So, 6.5 to 7. Bullet taken home, and then MF will get into one of his rare Mikey's mindsets tonight.
Yeah, 6.5 to 7 here. So I'm not going to say much more. You guys pretty much said it. So Fletch, let's get to your Mikey's mindset.
All right. So like I said at the top of the show, this week is going to be for the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a show called Fight Life: The Come Up Series. Basically, what it is that it's a new company called Fight Life Wrestling. They actually started about a year or so ago, maybe a couple of years ago, and they are actually coming around. They're doing wrestling events, and they had a couple of events already, and they're getting better. They're getting better by the day. So Fight Life is a new company, and I got to see a lot of these new people, and they performed, and they did 2 tapings. It's on Fight TV, and as a matter of fact, for all you fans out there, the first episode will be coming out on the 23rd at 8 p.m. You can watch it on Fight Plus, and the next one will be about a week after that. So mark your calendars now. In 3 days, you'll get to see this show. So where do we go from here? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to lay out the fight card, what I believe the fight card's going to be. If I'm wrong, I apologize in advance. But this is what we saw on the fight card. So when we go into Fight Life, the matches were as this. It was the Core Power. They went up against Shot Through the Heart, which is Love Doug and TJ Crawford, and Core Power, Him Power and Ivy. They were going at it. That was a tag team match. Then it was followed up. Let me see, where was the next one? As we also had was Mike Monteiro from RWA, formerly of RWA. He went up against Jordan JoJo Collins. So that was a one-on-one match. Then after that, going into the next one, we had was, if I'm correct, I know there was a match that they had that's unannounced on this fight card. All right. Then after that, let me see if this is part 1 or part 2. Part 1. All right. So part 1. And there was also, let me see. Do they have it? No, they don't. They don't have it. Okay. So the other matches that they did have, and I can confirm, then we had was Jalen Rembrandt. No, actually, no, that's the second show. Next up, after that, we had was a triple threat women's match. This was Shannon Levine, Sarah Jade, and Clara. They went at it. Then we had was in the main event of the first part of the show. as it was Lucas Chase. He went up against Jared Diaz. So that was the main event for fight 1. Then for the second show, this is where we had Jalen Brandon and Ricky Smokes. They went at it in a matchup. We had a 6-way scramble, as it was Sean Keenan, Eric Chala, Radcliffe, Robbie the Giant, Sangha, and AJP. So that was a big one. Then we had, after that, we also had a great one-on-one match. This was an RWA special. Anthony Stone one-on-one against the Mind Eraser Mike Grassa. Then co-main event we had was Mark Alexander and Nolan Pierce going up against the Varsity League. And in the main event of the entire show, an Ocean State Boathouse Brawl, as it was Aaron York going up against Sebastian Seabass Finn. So, and this is just some of the matches. There are more. I apologize. I didn't get the full fight card, but if you want to see it, it is on Fight TV, and it will be, like I said, 3 nights from now is episode 1 on the 23rd, and then the second episode will be about a week later. So I believe that's Monday night at, let's see, I just want to make sure. Yes, so it will be Sunday night at 8 p.m. on Fight TV, and then the next episode, oddly enough, on my birthday, April 30th. So you guys will get to see it. It was a double taping. The Fight Life Come Up series, that was what it was. And let me tell you guys, this was an amazing show. Everybody did an incredible job. Hats off to our friend Frankie. He, like I said, he is the Imperial Grand Poobah for Fight Life. And of course, my good friend Sarah Ellis, she was the one that got me to come down to see this show. It was an amazing time. I think it's like $5 a month if you get the Fight Life Pass to watch it. Trust me, it's worth the time. It's worth everything. So, one more bit of news before we get on out of here. NRG, the NRG Springboard is the name of the show. It's going down this Friday night from the Bright Ridge Club in East Providence, Rhode Island. And here we go, guys. Let me just get the fight card for you. Let me see, discussion. And it's a lot. It's a big show, to say the very least. So here we go. We have on the fight card, we got Devin Blades to go one-on-one with the entitled AJP. Followed that up by a one-on-one match. We got Steven Lust versus Jamie Tucker. Then we have is the NRG World Tag Team titles on the line. The Dirt City Murder Crew, Jason Devine and Ricky Medeiros, they're putting the titles on the line against the Black Sheep. Then, of course, and one of the big fights of the night, it will be the Hoods, Shay Cash, and So it's actually the Hoods that they're going to be going up against Dr. Hershey and Dirty Dango. That's right. Formerly Fandango of WWE. I guess he's a member of Impact Wrestling now. So he will be in a matchup. Then We got the Portuguese powerhouse Ariel. She will be going one-on-one with Sarah Jade. Sarah Jade from the Fight Life, the Come Up series. Got to see her in action. If you want to see her, you'll get to see her in action at Springboard. That's going down this week. Of course, we got Johnny Pierce going one-on-one with the Mind Eraser, Mike Grassa as well. And in the main event for the NRG World Heavyweight Championship, Braden Michael Thomas at BMT puts the world title on the line against the one and only, the ace, Mike Montero. That will be NRG, New England Ring Gladiators. The big show, Springboard, will be held at the Bright Ridge Club in East Providence, Rhode Island. Advanced tickets or advanced reserved front row, they're sold out. There are no seats there. If you want other seats, you can get it $15 at the door. The show starts at 7:30 sharp, and you don't want to miss it. It's going to be something else, and we are out of here. So tomorrow night, special edition of TXN Sports World. Anthony Florio, come on in. Hit us with the future content.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, MF. Yes, tomorrow night, 10:30, we got TXN Sports World coming at you. And here's how we're going to have it. We were going to start with Jalen Hurts, but something more important and more happier was announced. Damar Hamlin. What can you say? Damar Hamlin, after the scary scene 3.5+ months ago, has been cleared to play football again. If that's not a story to start off with, I don't know what is. So we will address Damar Hamlin, the wonderful news that he received just the other day. We will also talk about Jalen Hurts and his contract extension. We will then preview the final week of the XFL regular season, week 10. We'll also preview week 2 of the USFL. And then in the double main event, we will preview the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then in the other half, we will be consolidating we'll start with the Celtics chat, followed by the Bruins beat, and then the Ranger roundup. We'll take it home. So there's your docket for tomorrow night. You don't want to miss it. 10:30. We're starting off with the best in the best possible way with that incredible news about Damar Hamlin. And all I can say is I'm getting goosies just thinking about that. So, young man, after everything he's been through and what Bill's Mafia has been through with him, but it's going to be great. I can't wait to lead off with that. That's definitely something that needs to be addressed. So with that, 10:30 tomorrow night, TXN Sports World. You heard the docket. Be there or be square. So not much more to say. MF, take it home.
Yeah, so with that said, like I said, what I would love for you guys to do is go out of your way, watch the Fight Life. Like I said, I had a blast watching it. And for all you guys on Fight TV, go out there, subscribe to Fight Life Wrestling. They do have it. And as a matter of fact, there's a big show coming up too, because on May 6th, it's a Wednesday night event. They will crown the first ever Fight Life World Heavyweight Champion. That's right. An 8-man tournament will be held on that night, and a world champion will be crowned. Now, for all participants and everybody else, go to FightLifeWrestling.com right now and get more information, tickets, and everything. And without a doubt, it will be a happening, unprecedented crowning. History will be made on that night as we crown our first ever champion. Then, of course, go out of your way. Go to the Bright Ridge Club this Friday night for NRG springboard. And on top of that, on Friday, I will come back because there's also an RWA show, but I'll preview that on Friday night. So Mikey's Mindset back at it again on Friday. So we got some stuff. But until then, for all of us here, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock in spirit, I'm good old MF Michael Fletcher. You guys know the routine. Thank you so much as always. Have a good night, and we will see you all tomorrow night for TXN Sports World. So long, everybody.
Goodbye.